I want to welcome you to Dream Chasers Radio with me, your host, Yaya Diamond. What's up, peoples? How you doing? It is a great day, and we're going to be talking about choices. Ooh. Welcome back to the show. So today we're going to be talking about choices. We have an author on our hands today. You guys know how I love authors. As a matter of fact, her last name is Ramos. And I know I said that right because, my last name is Ramos. And so here we go. I had to say that. We might be related. I don't know.
Could very well
to the show, Miss Ramos. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How about you, Yaya? I know you're doing great.
I'm doing good. So, so we got to talk about choices.
Yes. Yes.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Turn my head for a second because, boy, have I made some doozies. I have made some doozies. So let's kind of back up, though. Why did you write a book about choices?
Well, oh my goodness. Because I've made some crazy choices that I lived through, and I'm so thankful for that. But I was in the bail bonds industry for 24 years, and it wasn't until I really did that thing for 24 years that I realized, well, maybe I could share, and maybe there's some people who just might take courage and say, okay, yeah, I've been to prison. I got out. Of course, I was in prison in a foreign country. So that was a huge learning curve, carrying drugs from South America, stopping in Mexico. Thank God I was stopped in Mexico because there, at least, there was a prisoner exchange. So I wrote the book to let people know that, hey, we all make choices. And we all make bad choices, right?
Yep.
So if my experience can encourage anyone, I am thankful for that.
Wow.
So thankful.
Wow. Let me ask you a question. And you have the right to say no, I don't want to talk about it, or you could say, yeah, we're good to go. That choice that you made to travel with those drugs. How did that come about? Was it because of lack of income? There's just so many different ways I can kind of go with this. And I just wanted to kind of, define the choice, because a lot of people are trying to make that choice right now. Should I go to the streets? Should I do these drugs? Should I sell these drugs? Should I bring this? Should I put this on my body and bring it across the border? There's just so many different circumstances that I can see this happen.
Oh yeah, exactly. And I grew up in White Center, in Seattle, a suburb of Seattle, Washington. But anyway, I grew up in the what they'd call Rat City, the ghetto. So people did drugs all the time. I didn't think doing drugs was a big deal. I didn't really like drugs because I like to be in control. But I understood that people did drugs because they weren't able to cope with some of the things they were facing in life, and it just gave them a little, just a little slice of paradise for a minute, or whatever. But when I went to South America, I went down there. I had a girlfriend who was getting married down in South America, and then my sister's boyfriend approached me, could I carry drugs back? Now, I didn't think drugs were a big deal. I thought, well, if you pay, he's paying for my trip, he's giving me some cash. It wasn't because of the money. I had a great job in LA working for a wholesale gold and diamond jeweler, an Israeli couple. And they paid me well. It wasn't the money, it was the travel. I loved to travel. Stupid.
Gotcha.
But I understood. So I didn't think drugs was a big deal. And like I said, it wasn't until I got into the bail bonds industry and saw all the tragedy of drugs, people taking drugs, not realizing what's in them, not, people dying. It's horrific.
Wow.
What I saw.
So being in the bail bond industry after that whole thing really kind of guided you into writing this book?
Yeah, well, somebody told me I should write a book in 95 when I was in Israel. We were over there praying and interceding right after the assassination of one of the prime ministers. And it was a couple that I went with. Matthew he just come up to me and said, you need to write a book. And I go, yeah, right. I thought about it, but I thought, no, I never finished ninth grade. How am I going to write a book?
Wow. Why not?
Right, right. And it was like, you know what? He was a man of God, and I believe in God. And he was telling me that, you got to, there's a time where you have to stop thinking about yourself and you have to start thinking about how you could be a blessing to others, or how you can try to at least share with them some of your ideas. They can take it or they can leave it.
Right. Right. I truly believe that there is a reason why we're here on this earth, and why we should not take as much as possible to the grave. you know, Leave it all here for people
Right.
to use and to decipher and to experiment with and whatever, and to continue your work, and choices. Okay, so why did you, I mean, there could be so many different possibilities on this book. There could have been, the Bell's Bondsman thing, or it could have been a bunch of different things. Before you answer that question, we're going to take a short commercial break,
Sure.
and we will be right back. Don't you go anywhere. And my goodness gracious, you're listening to Choices. You're listening to Choices. Welcome back to the show. So you're listening to Miss, and I want to make sure I say this right, Sylvia Ramos, and I just, Paneque?
Paneque, yes.
See, so, we're talking about choices today. And okay, so we're going back to the Bell's Bondsman thing. It could have been so many different things that you could have written about. You could have wrote about, your experience in the jail down there. You could have, why choices?
Well, actually, I did. It started out, the book starts out where I'm getting off the plane in Mexico, and how that whole incident, how I go into to jail. But the reason that choices is that because every choice that we make every day affects not only us, but it could affect our loved ones. It could affect the person in front of us, behind us, driving. It could affect, there's just, think of, I don't have to tell you, it depends. And so my heart is to get grounded, have peace. Even when I was in Mexico, I had to say, okay, God, I owned up. Okay, I did it. That was stupid. You don't have rights in another country.
No, you don't.
And so your choices are taken away. I didn't, I got my first phone call after being there 3 months. So there you go.
Wow. Wow. And being in an international jail, or a prison, I don't know what it's like. I don't even know what it's like to be in this kind of jail or prison, and I don't want to know. But
Right.
you say your choices were taken away, and your very first phone call was 3 months after you got put into the prison system or the jail system in Mexico. What was that time like for you? Was it frantic? Was it reevaluating your life? What did you do during that time that helped you to get to where you are today?
Okay. Yeah, I did. I had I had to look at so many choices that I had made. I was living in LA. I'd left my children with their father in Seattle. I let them, and I moved to LA, trying to get my life together. And I just, before I took the trip, I had my kids down from LA, and they were we had a great time. They were with me for a couple of weeks, and I thought, I'm working on it, I'm getting it together, I'm going to get my kids back with me. They were 9 and 7 or something. And so I thought about all of that. The only reason that they knew that we were in Mexico is some sharp attorneys heard that we were arrested. My sister and I, Pam, were arrested at the airport. It was her boyfriend who talked us into doing. He didn't talk. No,
What happened to the boyfriend? I have to ask.
he's dead now, but he just made sure no pictures were taken of him. Nothing happened to him. He made sure that we were taken care of. He was real sharp. I guess he was sharp in that arena. That's all I want to say about that. He moved to Singapore and had a family there. But so my time of just thinking and going on to, okay, I'm owning up. The first call I made was to my son, and my son wanted to know, where are you, Mom? I want to come and be with you. And I didn't want to tell him, but he kept insisting. And I told him, and I guess when my daughter and my son found out, they went into the closet and cried and cried. And, I had to think about, what in the world was I doing? Why? Really, honestly, I can tell you, we can learn from our bad choices if we'll just stop and own up.
Yeah. Wow. And all of this is in the book?
Yes.
Wow.
Oh yeah, the first 3 chapters are about, going into prison in Mexico and being there, and then coming on the transfer. Then it goes to my childhood. The 4th is my childhood, and then the 5th and 6th is bail bonds, and the 7th is why I wrote the book. So, and it's like only 70
Sounds great.
pages. Easy read, easy read.
Right. But it's not as easy to live it as it is to read about it.
No, but I'll tell you what, we have to learn to just say, you know what? I'm very thankful for that experience, because it really made me look at my life and my choices and what I was doing and what's really important. My kids, my family. I mean, that intricate thing that like like the front of the book is like a pebble in a pond,
Mhm.
where those waves go out. I mean, it reaches so many venues, and if you can make a good choice, you can be a blessing. If you can take what was meant for evil and turn it around to something good by being honest and owning up, you can be a blessing to others, which is my heart's desire.
Wow. Wow. The choices. Okay, so let's go to the Bell's bonds, but let's get past that. Let's get past
Okay.
that time in prison in Mexico and then the transfer. Let's get past that. After all that happened, your children and you, I mean, and then your Bell's bondsman, how did all of that kind of fall back into place? Because I'm sure that everything was upheaved and it was crazy and it was just frantic.
Yeah.
I mean, how did the choices you made after that
Okay.
set you up for your life today?
Well, when the good thing about our federal prison is, once we came on the prisoner exchange, and I went to San Diego MCC, and then I went to Pleasanton, and I took a course. You can take courses. I got my GED. I took a secretarial course, and then when I got out, I took a medical secretary course. Oh, that was a tough one. All those words. Anyway, I worked for a doctor for 6 years, running his front office. So, something I never thought I would be able to do. I mean, medical terminology, all of that stuff you got to know, and helping people. So I did that. But during that time, I was building a relationship with my children again, trying to draw them back in. But of course, they kind of, the drug thing in the country is a bad thing. The drug thing in the country, people constantly, I understand we're in pain, and we don't want to be in pain, but if you just continually medicate, you're not going to grow.
Right.
You're not going to change, and
No.
you have to face the pain, cry, yell, whatever, work through it, get a counselor, do something, go to God. That's what I did. I went to him, help me, I need
Yeah.
help. And so, yeah, now and then when I met Gail, who owns the bonding company I work for, she's the one who talked me into becoming a bail bondsman. um, I fell on my face and cried, and I thought, oh, I already did my time. Do I really want to do this, be involved? And yet, when you think about it, who better to go and help people and families that have made bad choices than one that has?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. Oh my gosh. There's just so many different questions that are going through my brain. I don't think I can grab one. But what the one thing I can say is that, being I have to just say it, coming out of prison, most people would think that they don't have that opportunity to work for a doctor at the front office. They don't have the opportunity to advance in their life, to be something more than what society says you can be. You're always going to be this. You're always going to. You see what I'm saying? So it's like for
Yeah.
you to come out of there and for you to do this. How did that happen? And how did you overcome the stigmatism of being, and how they say an ex-con, they say, but I just
Right.
say just challenged with people's mindset on thinking that you're a criminal when you really aren't anymore.
Right. Right. When I made a bad choice, right? I
Right.
mean, really, truly. Well, the one good thing I can tell you, the one thing, because I got caught in Mexico, I have a criminal record in Mexico. I only have a record of serving time in the United States, so that helped. But I still had to do full disclosure every
Mhm.
time you fill out a job application. Every time you have to give the whole story about who you are, what happened, how did it happen. And I believe that if you're honest with people, if they can see that you have changed, you are trying to better your life. I really believe that you people will, there's certain people that won't accept, and that's fine. You don't want to be working for those people. But if it's people that understand, I've had people say to me, well, I made bad choices, I just never got caught. Well, there are people like that that have businesses that are
Yeah.
successful, and
Yeah.
I just believed, I mean, what choice did I have? The only choice I had was to own up to my stuff and get an education and just do it. And unfortunately, I had wonderful friends. I had a girlfriend that was a nurse that told me about a doctor that was looking for someone, and he let me in. They knew the nurse didn't like it. She kind of had a little bit of a attitude about it, but she got over it.
Right.
It
Right.
just,
That is so cool though. That
yeah,
I'm just so happy that you were able to pick up and move forward. And now your relationship with your children.
it's great. It's great.
Awesome. Awesome.
They
So
we have a very loving relationship. They
awesome.
went through their struggle with drugs, but they're doing great now. And
Mm.
their father passed away, and that was hard for us. But hey, we're
Yeah.
all growing together. We love each other. We give each other grace.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry about your
Yeah,
ex-husband and their
yeah,
father. I mean, even though you didn't kind of make it with him, doesn't mean that the kids don't love him. You
that's
gotta
right.
you gotta
And
love
that
your
was,
yeah.
and that's another thing I can honestly say. I would never, don't badmouth
That's
your
right.
ex to the children's fathers. Don't ever do that.
Yeah.
No matter what he's done. I mean, believe me, I could have, but I knew that doesn't gain anything. Our words form our world. We need to speak life
That's
over
right.
ourselves and over others, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Definitely. Definitely. I absolutely love that you came from something that was a mistake. You overcame that to get to some place where most people say you can't get. Okay. To recapping everything, to rehatching the love that you have with your family,
Yes.
to moving forward as a Bells bondsman, to get to the point to be an author, but not graduate a regular class.
Right.
That
I never finished ninth grade. I got married at 16.
exactly. And that is
I
just to
mean,
me, it's like, okay, that defies all the people that say you can't, you won't, you'll never, okay, I'm sorry. I'm
yeah.
sorry. This is just, to me, it's amazing that you've done so much with the choices that you made after the mistake. What kind of advice do you give people who may be in that situation right now where they may be out and they feel like as if they can't move forward? What do you tell them?
Surround yourself with people that'll speak life over you and give you hope. If there's people that don't believe you can because of the things that you see, I understand that. They've seen it, they know it's there. But find the ones that know you can.
Hmm.
They'll encourage you. Don't hate the people that say you can't. Just love them, and let it go. Just let it go. Don't hang on to the baggage. You can't take, I mean, don't take any of that baggage with you. You want a new life.
Exactly. Wow.
And there are
Wow.
people, there are groups, there are churches. Ask the Lord to lead you. And that's what I did. I asked the Lord, lead me, guide me. And he did. I mean, I
Mhm.
trust in him. I believe there is a God. I believe Jesus died for me. I mean, I it's my everything, but some people may not be ready to go there yet for various reasons. But you know,
Yeah. I
I
definitely
mean, we all have a
definitely
choice. We
yes.
and find peace. Find peace. And just
Definitely.
with your past, because you know what? You can't take it with you. Don't take it with you.
No,
Don't.
no,
I
don't
mean,
take
I
it with
wrote the
you.
book, so obviously I'm sharing my past, but
Right.
only in. I mean, believe me, in the bail bonds business, there were officers, there were people that were just, when they found out that I'd been to prison in a foreign country, they were just like stunned. They go, Sylvia, no way, just no way. But yeah,
Yeah. Well, I mean, we make mistakes.
yeah.
We do make mistakes. Sometimes they're just little ones and sometimes they're very big ones, and it's just a mistake. And so, Sylvia, thank you so much for being on the show. Where can people find your book? Where can they find you?
Okay, well, you can find the book on Amazon. You can find it on Barnes and Noble. I also have my publishing company. I guess if we can put a link in there with Oolong
Yeah, definitely.
Express.
Yeah, we would love
And
it. Yeah.
and and me, they can, well, I don't know, I haven't really set up anything for me yet, but I'm thinking that Dream Books is setting something up for me. So they'll
Awesome.
let you know. They'll let you know.
Okay, so we'll have the link to the book in the description box below. So that way you guys can kind of hook up and look at that book. We all make some choices, guys. We make choices to advance. We make choices that aren't so smart. But in the end, our choice to rectify the situation is just as strong. Make good choices. And if you've made any bad ones, make some good ones afterward so you can kind of redirect your life. But choices are the way we live our lives. And I want to thank you so much, Sylvia, again, for being on the show.
Thank you so much, Yaya. It's been a pleasure.
And the pleasure has been mine. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel wherever it may be, or even go ahead and put in that clock. We're on Comcast Channel 25 in DeKalb, Georgia, every Thursday at 6 p.m. We're also on the DuPont Network Monday through Friday from 11 to 12, right before ATL Your Raps. I want to thank you guys again so much for tuning in. And don't forget to dare to be different. Until next time, guys. Bye.
Yeah. You are kidding.
I did.